Well, I hope everybody's having a great Sunday. We'll see what we get for the week ahead. Should be some good volatility. We finally got some volatility last week after through the Fed meeting and afterwards. But anyhow, just sitting here working a little short trade, not really much position size, and have a few questions for the group. But first of all, want to mention that I do have the TickBlaze platform set up. I'm testing the initial version of the AIQ1 indicator, trying to get that wrapped up. I gave some feedback that will go to the programmer there to try to get that indicator, and he's got the AIQ1 bar type provided, so I'm going to test that. Then they'll be wrapping up the super bands work so we can get that thing launched. And then the other thing is I'm testing the Striker package. I'm getting ready to start playing around with that because I've been out and about most of the day, just got back later, much later than I expected. But I'm going to start playing with the Striker package, which should show the key options levels. And these are the big ones that are where institutional activity is at. So I want to start evaluating and see how effective I think those levels are compared to the options levels I get from some actual institutional fund level contacts. So anyhow, I'll be monkeying around with that tonight and then watching it obviously during the US cash session for a few days and continuing to do standalone videos on the TickBlaze platform Striker package, which is, you can see the options levels, and I'll evaluate how much in alignment they are with the levels that I've been given from some contacts I have that trade institutional level. One other thing, I've had two prominent groups on a platform that I haven't used in like over a decade, like actually like almost 2 decades. And they've approached me saying, hey, we've heard you talk about portfolio trading. What do we need to do to get the super bands on our platform? Because we want to do portfolio-based trading. So portfolio-based trading, the way I do it in the FX markets, for instance, which I've been doing for 9.5 years, is basically trading from one side of the bands, buy, cover, be a seller, cover. And then what we do is when we buy, we take some off at the mid band, get another signal, reload, take some more off the mid band. Any excursion to the other side of the bands, cash out. Now we're a seller, take some off at the mid band. To the other side, we close out the short side, then we play the long side. Mid band takes some off. And when we do the mid band, we take any stop we have, we go to break even plus. Here we did have an excursion outside the bands, not enough to get a signal, so we'd at least cash out the remaining longs. We did have, you can see there's a little a wick through the band, so that'd be a cash out. But and I know we would not have triggered, so we would have no short on there. We'd be waiting. Then we get long at mid band, take some off. Any remainders would have got cashed out here at break even plus. Then we're a buyer again. Then when we get to mid band, we take some off, move stops to break even plus on the averaged out of the two positions. Then we cash out the longs, then we're short, go to mid band, take some shorts off, so basically we're playing back and forth from one side of the band to the other on optimized settings. And we do that in the FX market and CFDs for institutional FX trading, and basically been trading that exact same way. In total, I've been trading the institutional FX side for 9+ years. And this style, actually, I went back and looked, this approach about 7.5 of that 9 years. I was doing something a little different the first 2 years, very close, but a little different. And then that's what has continued my work on the adaptive price bands. And we do have two modes with the bands for NT8 and so on, Quant Tower, and soon to be on TickBlaze. We have a dynamic mode that I leave them in all the time. Then we have a static mode, which is fixed plot, bar close by bar close. You can use them any way you want. I love the dynamic mode, the way we have them dialed in now. And I use the dynamic mode of this seventh evolution of the bands on the FX side. So anyhow, had some groups, one really prominent group and then a group I never knew about. And then I researched them and they've been around like for over a decade too, on Tradestation. So they said, hey, we would like to use these bands for what you're talking about, doing multi-day portfolio trading, on futures, on this instrument, that instrument, so on. What do we need to do to get these bands over on the platform? So I've had some initial discussions, but what I want to know, and let me pull up the tradestation.com website, and I used TradeStation last, I think it was like 2005 to maybe 2006 or 7. And then as NinjaTrader became more prominent, I just stopped using TradeStation. I just use NinjaTrader all the time. So I guess what I wanted to ask to get any feedback, and you can shoot it to me by email at info@gridalgo.com, is I know this is a closed platform, meaning you can't get access to the platform unless you have an account with TradeStation. So back in the day, you used to be able to get the TradeStation platform, and I don't think a person necessarily had to have an account there, but I kind of get the direction they went in. And, they do have options, stock trading, futures, stocks, options, mutual funds, and so on. But they're all, they're still in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I've kind of spent the last about 5, 6 days since I've had these inquiries digging in, and I found out that there's, the platform's advanced some over the years and seems workable. The one good thing I will say about TradeStation, I mean, TradeStation was built way back in the day and moving forward for trading automated. So that I do like. So for the more of the, I would say not necessarily the futures trading crowd, but, digging into the platform and evaluating what I think would be capable of, I definitely could be doing mom signals trading on any instruments the platform has for intraday, but it's actually looks like a really favorable platform for anybody that wants to do intraday or multi-day super bands, portfolio based, or that kind of style of trading, more intraday position trading into swing trading. So I guess what I'd like to know is if you're using TradeStation, let me know what you think of the platform, the brokerage firm, and so on, like where they're at these days. I was using Thinkorswim through TD Ameritrade, but when Schwab bought them out for doing longer term stuff, it's just been a continual decline. Where uh, even before summer, like gosh, I think it was April or May, I closed my accounts down there. That platform and the data feed was getting terrible. I was getting big wicks on different instruments. I'm just like, this is junk. And I was just like, I can't wait to get away from these guys. And I've kind of been waiting to find a new home. I'm not a big fan of interactive brokers, dealt with them in the past, don't like their TWS platform. I don't want to hook it to some web browser based platform like TradeView. I just don't want to do that. Not my cup of tea. TradeStation, though, could be a good home for going back and getting longer term trading back up and running. I don't see myself like ever trading futures through them for intraday. I'd rather just do that with prop accounts, but for doing multi-day, portfolio based style trading, absolutely looks like a perfect platform for that. So just curious if anybody, you have any feedback, what you do and don't like about TradeStation, the platform, the brokerage firm, and so on. And I'm not necessarily talking about a, super active intraday trader, more somebody that wants to manage their own, portfolio of their own money that they're trading for longer term stuff. Uh, whether it's portfolio based or working mom signals, uh, or dot trades on a little bit higher, what I would call intraday position time frames or higher into swing trading, let me know. And that's what I'm looking for, is like to hear from some current users and send your feedback to my email. That way I can kind of have a record of it, can go review it again and again in a centralized location. Are you a TradeStation user, or have you been recently? What do you think about them as a brokerage? How has the platform been? The data feed, is it reliable? Are you getting outages a lot or not? I talked to one gentleman that's been trading for 40 years, very well-known gentleman. He's a heavy TradeStation user. He gives me positives, so that was encouraging. And I've talked to a few others, and then I've had these two groups approach me that knew about my tools, but really want the super bands in the platform for portfolio trading. So before I even consider that, I'd like to really get some feedback from those that are using the platform, currently using it or have been using it, I'd say within the last year. Get your feedback. So yeah, just send that over, info@gridalgo.com. I was going to try to get out a striker levels video tonight. I'm wiped out, tired. I'm going to basically try to get rest, get up early, and really dig into the striker package on TickBlaze and really see if I can get that up and running, make sure I have it all figured out so I can track it for a few days and see how close their levels are of tracking big boy options activity in relation to the information I get from an institutional contact. So there you have it. Have a great night. Have a great Sunday, what's left of it, and we'll hit it this week again for the week ahead for trading. And again, the government situation, whether there's going to be a resolution or not, we should definitely have some good volatility throughout the week. And looking forward to it. Have a great night. Talk to you all tomorrow.